Wow, that was a lot of fun. All right, hey folks, welcome to the show. This is a lot of fun. That was our new opening graphic that has music that is okay by um, everyone for rights. So we have the rights. We're allowed to do that music. They can't mute us. Let's see what happens next time. My name is John Peasy, and welcome to the show. It's called Cool Crap That We Love. Really cool crap that we love growing up as a kid. And you see, I'm driving right now the vehicle, and I'm driving this vehicle to bring in my co-host and cohort here today. Who is he? The man of many political views. But tonight we're talking about the 60s, 70s, 80s. Here he is, Mr. Walt. How are you, Walt?
The political views. I got one political view. was there sound on that video?
I meant many opinions of it. I'm sorry, many opinions.
Was there sound on that video?
Yeah, there was. Did you not hear it?
I couldn't hear it in the dressing room. That's all right.
In the dressing room. Yeah, no. You're muted in the dressing room. You don't hear anything in there.
Yeah, but I should hear you. Whatever the case. Anyway, what are we talking about this week? Let's have some fun. I can see what we're going to talk about.
You know what we're going to talk about. We're going to have a lot of fun, as a matter of fact. What are we talking about today? The most important thing on the menu, right? We're going to talk about politics and the person that was choked to death.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. You want that? Go to CNN, go to Fox News.
That's right. We're doing lighthearted fun right here. We want to take everyone away from the pain and just have a couple of laughs, right?
That's it. We're going to loot the laughs from you.
That's great. Loot the laughs. I like that. Very good. Clever.
I like that.
Touche.
So,
first of all, before we even begin, I have a whole agenda of stuff that we're going to go on tonight. I think, you and I, we started doing the show. We started talking about all the things that we started liking when we were kids and started laughing about them on the air.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And now I'm starting to think there's so many directions to go in this. So tonight's show is about what?
Saturday morning cartoons that we used to watch on Saturday morning and the cereals we used to eat while we were watching them. I thought that was a great segue.
It really was. And I got to say, when I was a kid, one of the things that I used to always watch the commercial for when I was sitting there on Saturday morning watching my cartoons, I have one of the first commercials up. And I think you don't have the list of the commercials that I have here, but I think you're going to enjoy this one. So I'm going to pull it up here in just a moment. In the meantime, why don't you tell the people while I get this ready, what was your favorite commercial when you were as a kid?
Favorite commercial? Let's see. When I used to watch the Saturday morning cartoons, I got to tell you something. I was in Aikido class. My mom and dad put me into like a self-defense class, and I actually quit this class, which I'm sad that I did. But I quit this class just so I could watch Saturday morning cartoons because I did miss it. It was on Saturday. But my favorite commercial, I see what you put up there already, so you ruined it for me.
Yeah, I ruined it for you.
You ruined it. But my favorite commercial was always the Fraggle, the Schoolhouse Rock. But this is a commercial for cereal, and I know what it is. It's Count Chocula.
That's right.
Turn it up. Count Chocula. Frankenberry.
But I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor. Well, I've got berry flavored sweeties for monstrous strawberry flavor. Count Chocula. Frankenberry.
Hi.
Frankenberry. Count Chocula.
Wow.
They always made that Frankenberry look like a big goof.
Yeah, you're right.
I know a lot of people. I used to call people Frankenberry when they were goofs.
But I think the first one was Count Chocula, and then later on they came out with Frankenberry and then Boo Berry, which was the
Boo Berry,
right? But
don't you have a list of all of them? There was another one, Fruit Brute.
What do you say? What'd you say?
Fruit Brute. I think there was
Fruit Poop. Fruit Poop is what
Count Chocula, Frankenberry. There you go. So it was four of them. It was Frankenberry, Boo Berry, Fruit Brute, and Count Chocula.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't remember the Fruit Brute one.
You can only get that in Tennessee.
Speaking of which, today it used to be politically incorrect to have a cereal named Fruit Brute. That's sweet in your mouth.
You could have Fruit Brute. You could have it so easily.
It's Fruit Brute time, everyone.
He's a Fruit Brute.
But I think the first one was Count Chocula, and then these other ones came out after. Am I right?
Yes, the Count Chocula came out first, which I didn't like because it just tasted like chocolate, and it turned all your milk chocolate in there. And I just don't want to eat cereal that became chocolate.
How could you not like just
But
plain
but I
chocolate?
did like strawberry milk. And no, it wasn't a regular Brian K.
Oh, that was
Dingleberry.
you got to say.
Come on,
tastes like poo.
Brian. That's a totally different cereal, Brian. But the chocolate in there. Look at this guy. Whatchamacall. See, he's trying to be funny.
It was what do you call
Not
it?
whatchamacall it. He's not. That's not the way he spelled it.
That's not it?
But the chocolate milk was wasn't the same as like regular Bosco, like we talked about, in the past. It was regular. It was like chocolate. It was like just brown milk, and it didn't taste that good.
I don't know.
Strawberry milk did.
I don't know about you, but I think I must have had diabetes at 7 years old because I remember eating Count Chocula, and I wouldn't eat one. I don't know how you eat cereal, but I ate it like kind of strange. When I was a kid, to this day, even if I have Rice Krispies, I have any kind of cereal, I put the cereal in, and then I take a very little bit of really cold milk and eat it while it's crispy and dry, and then I pour more cereal in. I don't like it when it gets soggy and stuff.
No, me too. I had 3 bowls of Rice Krispies the other day. 3. And that's what I do. I fill it up to the top with the Rice Krispies, and then I take the milk and go on it just to get it damp. I like damp cereal. I don't like drowned in milk.
I want to keep it as dry as possible before I put it in my mouth. I wanted to, but I do remember
like soggy cereal.
Yeah, soggy that's horrible. Even
horrible.
What was it? Cheerios too was another one of those that
they would turn into little tires. Like they would open up and float my dog food. When you throw a piece of dog food in the water by accident, it turns into like a Cheerio.
It was terrible. This next one coming up, okay? Another one coming up. Here's another great cereal commercial from those days. Let's see. Check.
What do we got? Turn it up.
Can't hear him.
Hey, is that Ron Silva from Barney Miller?
There's really bad low sound on this. I'm sorry to say.
It's Honeycomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember they used to measure it. It's like really big. That's whatchamacallit? Ron Silver. I think that's it.
Is it?
It's the guy from Larrabee. Not Larrabee. It was the guy from Barney Miller, the dumb guy.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's the big now I remember this as being delicious cereal too. It was dry and crispy and sugary.
Those were good. You'd put those in your mouth and you'd let them just sit there until they turned soggy in your mouth. Then you'd eat them. But they were big and crunchy, those things.
Yeah, they were big and crunchy. I just don't. That description you gave, I'm just going to move right for. I'm going to put it right over my head. I'm not even going to.
Used to take those and put them on your eyes.
That's right.
Like little monocles. Hey, how are you there? Little monocle.
Do you remember those stupid things we used to buy? They used to come in a package. They looked like little witch hats. You put them all over your fingers. They were corn. Things. And you go like, oh, look, I got 10 of those corn down.
Everybody did that.
Yeah. What was those stupid things? Corn. There was some corn something.
What the hell? Oh, I know what they were. They were, I used to call them death cones. They're bugles.
Bugles. Thank you very much. That's right.
Bugles. Put them on there and you get the
I remember that was great. And it was at the same time, there was something else at that time that came out that was just like it. I don't remember. It was another one. There was those onion chips. We should do a whole show on that one day. But more importantly, we got so many of these things that go through. I don't know. I wasn't a big Honeycomb as a kid.
What do you got?
Oh, the next one coming up. Now, this is something I think that was, I believe, I don't know for a fact, but I believe that this was part of stuff that was made originally maybe for a cartoon, and then they made the cereal, and then it was a cartoon. I'm not really clear, but you tell me what you recall about this.
What's the disguise for, Barney?
Can you turn that up?
Pebbles?
Yeah, Cocoa Pebbles too.
That's the end, but only
Yeah.
Little fool Fred. Say, Skeeter, I'm hungry. Well, here, old timer.
Fruity Pebbles.
No Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity.
Pebbles, too.
Those are good.
No Fruity Pebbles taste like a bowl of noise.
Why's Barney got a beard and mustache on?
He's tricking Fred into giving him free pebbles.
Yeah, because he doesn't look anything like him. Fred's probably got a bunch of friends that are like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, that's right. With that schnoz.
Right? Look at that. He fooled Barney. Barney.
Ronnie.
Fooled me.
Now, you know, I don't know if you remember this too, but well, you know, when I think about, there was the old, as a kid, we used to do this joke. It was, if Fred put his rock into his wife's rock crusher, what would you have? Do you remember this?
Pebbles. Pebbles.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, that was Ron Carey, not Ron Silver.
Was it Ron? Oh, Ron
Ron,
Carey.
yeah.
Thank you very
Paulo
much.
Valerio just sent me a message.
See, people remember this stuff. But let me ask
Ron
you this.
Carey.
There was Cocoa Pebbles, there was Fruity Pebbles, and they were both by Post. Now, Post seemed to have all cereals that matched all the cartoons. And apparently, I think the Post company was utilizing those, you know, the cartoons to pull people into their products, apparently.
You think?
I think so. But Cocoa Pebbles, there was Cocoa whatever, and there was Fruity, and they just created a new thing. It's interesting.
I liked Fruity Pebbles, but that was another cereal, again, that I liked without milk. I would just take handfuls of it and scoop it into my mouth.
So all you're doing is eating candy. That's really
so what?
you're
That's
doing.
right.
Basically, you're eating candy, right?
Yeah, but look at what the result is.
Hey, Daniel Miller from Canada is up there. Yabba dabba doo. Yeah,
Of course he is.
What happens after you eat all that stuff in the morning? You have yabba dabba dooties. Okay. Jeez, too many puns.
Didn't see that coming.
Okay, next up. Ready for the next one?
Come on, shoot me.
This is
Shoot it.
this is another one of my favorites. I think this is a favorite. This is the last of the cereal before we go into something else. Here it is.
The cartoons.
Yeah, then we gotta do some cartoons.
What is that? Oh, Sugar Smacks. I know this guy.
Sugar smacks, give me a smack, and I'll smack you back. Fun to eat those snacks a week. Hello, Sugar Smacks.
Boom.
Hello, Sugar Smacks. A part of this complete breakfast. Hey, what's wrong with these bananas? Oh, from
Give me a smack, and I'll smack you back. Hello, Sugar Smacks.
I wasn't a big fan. Not a big fan.
Me neither. Wasn't a big fan.
Not a big fan. You want to know why I wasn't a big fan? And I tipped you off already.
No, I don't remember why.
I like to take them in my hand and put them in my mouth. Those were sticky.
Oh, were they really? I don't remember eating.
They were
them.
sticky.
You want dry candy as a kid. You want a dry candy. That's all. That's basically you're saying. You want sugar that
But
crunchy.
I liked it. I mean, I ate it with the milk. But like sometimes you just didn't want a bowl of cereal. You wanted like 2 scoops into your mouth.
That's what everyone's saying. Those were great. It's Stephen Keller. Those were
See?
great without milk.
Yeah. Milk was overrated back then, but yes, I used those. I didn't like because they stuck all together. They became like a ball, and yet you had to eat a bowl of cereal. I didn't like it.
But what? And here's Lee Cornell. By the way, he's a great ventriloquist. This guy, nice guy, and he's going crisp and quake. I do remember that as well. I don't remember eating it, but you know.
Me either.
Hey, yo, 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 yo! There's a guy who stutters. That's a really great comedian.
Edgar Rivera. I know Edgar.
Great comic. He lives in LA
Great
now.
comic. Funny guy.
From the Bronx.
From the hood.
From the hood. That's right.
Did I just put up a symbol I shouldn't have put up? I don't even know what I did something. Probably. I probably alerted somebody. I'll be on CNN tonight.
Now this is interesting. Bobby Medina says, "Can you guess what the character before the frog? What was? I have no idea. Bobby, do you know, Walt?
Bobby, shoot it to us. I don't know what the character was before. Sugar Smacks? Was it like a chicken?
I have no idea. Edgar's going Frosted Flakes, the best. Everyone, you know. By the way, Tony the Tiger was on the cover of Frosted Flakes, wasn't he, for a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Tony the Tiger. But Bob, a friend of ours, told me last night that the cornflakes just had a rooster on it.
A rooster?
I thought it was always Tony the Tiger, but if you remember, there was a rooster on just cornflakes.
I don't recall. No, I don't.
Yeah. But anyway, let's. What do we got? We got to get into some cartoons, man.
I know. Yeah,
those are my forte.
I have one more here. Let's do one more cereal. Here you go. You guys remember this one, I'm sure.
Oh, this one's Captain Crunch, right?
Yep.
Captain. They didn't even spell out Captain.
I remember this commercial.
Yeah.
I wish the voices were louder, but it's really.
Plus, maybe they won't give us any problem stealing them if they're bad quality. Captain Crunch.
We were talking
Who does he look
Captain
like?
Crunch cereal.
Yeah, who does he look like?
Who was that guy?
I don't know who it was. Probably Jim Backus. Had a big C on his head. now you can't wear a big C on your hat.
No, not in this economy and markets. No, not at all. It
You
goes
get
down a
punched
lot.
in the head.
The one with the rooster was Frosted Flakes without sugar. I know,
Right, that's cornflakes.
Bug us for it. It was cheaper.
It was a lot cheaper than Frosted Flakes.
Was it really?
Right. Yeah, you can get that big, like, economy size, like that army size, for the same price you can get like a little box of Frosted Flakes. That little frosting evidently cost a lot of money.
I have to tell you something, Edgar Rivera, about your Latina mom. I'm your real father. It's me, it's John.
Right?
Wow.
Mommy not doing good.
Mr. Magoo.
He's just got Tourette's at this point.
Yeah. Hey, okay, so let's move away for a quick second. I want to move into something a little bit different. No, there's something else here I didn't even realize too. First, Cocoa Puffs, great cereal commercial. There was first Apple Jack cereal. Then there's Lucky
Jacks
and Trix cereal, all produced in 1959 and aired in 1960. And then Frosty O. That's actually the last commercial I'm going to do before we go into cartoons. And this one is, well, you'll see it. I'm going to tell you what it is.
Which one is this? Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah, this is the commercial from 1960 something. I mean, it's really elderly. It's elderly, like you and I. There we
Cocoa
go.
Puffs, man. This is that crazy, like, the crazy whatever that is. Rooster? What is he? That's what the thing looks like on regular cornflakes. Whatever that is.
Is it?
Yeah. Whatever that is. Now, this guy here almost reminds me of Kevin Downey Jr. Right? I just want that bird to go zip.
You look at those.
See?
They were round little balls of sugar, is what they were.
That was it. But this again, Cocoa Puffs would turn the milk brown. That didn't taste good.
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, I didn't like these. I wasn't a big fan of the chocolate cereals.
See, that's interesting because I didn't mind the water getting a little brown after you mixed up the stuff. Didn't bother me.
Even the Fruity Pebble. When you had the Fruity Pebbles, I didn't like the Cocoa Pebbles.
You know, we are intellectuals.
Right? Just tells you. Just
let's go to
today's day and world. What's going on today? You can't say you don't like Cocoa Puffs. You don't like your Cocoa Krispies. You can't say that anymore.
You're absolutely right. You can't say.
I like them. I like them now.
I like Cocoa Puffs. The more Cocoa Puffs you are. You ready?
I am.
Here we go.
Which what is this? Cartoons? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Your favorite. Turn this up.
I wish I could.
Oh, you can't? Come on, Scooby-Doo. I need you. Ooh, that guy. That's a mask. I remember you always used to grab him. Almost got Daphne. I remember this. This is the good one. Velma with a V. I remember that episode with the underwater suit. I don't remember that episode. Zoinks! And it was weird because Scooby
that was
and
great
Shaggy,
though.
What did they always want to do? Scooby and Shaggy.
They wanted to eat.
Oh, always. They would eat anything.
And they had these long, one loaf of bread that was like 3 feet long with a sandwich.
3 foot long sandwich. They just put in their mouth. Just one shot.
Yeah.
They would just eat that.
I used to love that. And the Scooby snack, he says, will you do it for one Scooby snack? Will you do it for any other?
Right. What was a Scooby snack? What was it?
I have no idea. It was probably, today it would be considered like what would take it today. Those little jellies that have marijuana extract in it. What do you call it?
Like a little, and Shaggy was the only one who could hear Scooby talking because he barked with the other guys. And that just means that he was on snorting cocaine. Shaggy.
He was up to something, man. They were starting to see go.
Yeah, the guest stars. They used to have a lot of guest stars.
Remember
they met Batman and Robin. That was my favorite. I think they had two of them. They met Batman and Robin. They met Don Knotts. Anybody who was Don Adams. Oh, and Don Knotts. They met Don Adams and Don Knotts. Anybody who was famous at the time, who was popular.
Hey, not to interrupt you, because I would never do that.
No,
not me. But there's somebody sending me a private chat on this line saying that's no way in hell.
Way.
Yeah,
what?
I got something here. It's a private chat. Which how could they get a private chat in here? Because it's not on the chat that's on Facebook. But it says Casey Kasem. Isn't Casey?
He was the voice of Shaggy.
Right.
Casey Kasem.
Let's bring. Okay. I'm giving him the link right now. Yeah.
Casey Kasem. I'm Casey Kasem.
Here it is. Hello?
Who is it?
Who's that? Who is this?
Who is that?
Does he speak? Casey Kasem is dead. This must be him trying to communicate from the dead.
Hello?
Casey, are you there?
Horrible. Just horrible.
Casey, can you hear me?
Casey.
I'll do it. Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
Casey, can you hear us? I think Casey's really is dead.
Thanks, Casey.
All right. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. That bit worked.
Thank you, Casey.
That was a wonderful bit that we dreamed that one up.
Yeah, we dreamed that up is right, boy. That was wonderful.
Oh, my God.
We're brilliant. We're brilliant.
Always looking. always trying to push the envelope.
So, hey, the next thing coming up that's really cool too, and I think you had to watch this. I did watch this, and this was a really strange mix of people for a show, cartoons when we watching, on Saturday mornings as kids. This is a really strange mix. Check this out.
Oh, my favorite, Peter Perfect. Oh yeah, it's the Wacky Races.
Yep,
it's the Wacky Races. You'll never get. Do you remember who the people were in the Wacky Races?
Yeah, I do.
That's Peter Perfect.
My favorite one was the guy who was a ventriloquist voice. That was the great ventriloquist who was the voice in this.
Who?
That was. I said my favorite. Now it's eluding me. It was Paul Winchell. Was it Paul Winchell? Must have been Paul Winchell. Yeah.
Penelope Pitstop. Everybody wanted her to win.
She was hot for a cartoon.
Yeah, she was hot. There's the cavemen. There's that might be the Groovy Ghoulies. That's the Red Baron. There's somebody from Idaho.
See, everybody that Mrs. Bradley says, yes, love them.
Dick Dastardly, Stop That Pigeon. That was a different show, though. Stop That Pigeon. Yeah, but that was only Dudley. That was only Dick Dastardly and Muttley. That's Mutely, Bob.
Was that $1 million laugh? That laugh was like fantastic. Yeah, there you go.
It was almost like Lou Costello when he was scared.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But I love that because you'll never guess who my favorite was that I always wanted to win. I would actually bet myself in my head who was going to win the race. Like this was really happening.
You were actually that much out of reality. You were watching the cartoon, believing in the cartoon,
believing that it wasn't a predetermined outcome. I was a big Anthill Mob guy. I like those little gangsters, man.
But wait a minute,
Anthill Mob.
This brings up a good point. So you actually believed in the cartoons as a kid. I mean, I want to put you on a couch and say, so tell me more about how you felt about
right.
You actually believed in the cartoon. At what age do you think that was? Because I want to tell you something really strange and interesting. Go ahead.
It was probably about 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
No, I was probably around 8 years old. I didn't know. I thought it was a race that they were racing all the time.
You know, I should probably tell you this another time, but really quickly, when I was a kid, and I don't know what I was, maybe 5, 6, 7, or 8, or something like that. There was a Superman show. It was in black and white with not Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, I remember. It was George Reeves.
George Reeves, thank you. Yeah, the original. How interesting is that the Reeves both
Well,
Superman.
it was George Reeve and Christopher Reeves.
Yeah,
there was an S at the end of the other guy.
It's so tight, you know. It's like, I don't know.
He was killed, right? Wasn't George Reeves killed? But anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah, really cool story about it. You could do a whole show on that alone. I watched the remake movie of that. Was fantastic, by the way.
Was it like Tomorrowland or something?
No. There was
What was the name of the movie?
It's a movie about it's not a documentary. It's a movie about his life, and a Spanish guy played him.
Freddie Prinze?
No. Hey, maybe somebody remember this to chat. Anyway, here's the point. This is bizarro. I mean, I haven't told this to anybody but one person. And I'm telling you now, this on the air. It's strange. I was 7 or 8 years old. That Superman thing would come on every day. And again, you saying like how you believe in what's going on around you. I actually watched one where Jimmy Olsen and Superman and maybe Lois Lane all were in a square pit dug out in the floor in the dirt, like they fell into a pit, and the pit was like maybe it was maybe they're 6 feet tall and the pit was 10 feet tall. It was like right above them, but there was nothing to grab on. It's dirt. There was no way to get out. Superman had lost all of his powers because he
really
because he had the the kryptonite or something they threw on him. I don't know. He lost his power. So he's powerless. They're all in a pit, and there's no way to get out. And it's a very small square pit. You could actually touch one wall and the other with your foot. It was like 6 feet wide, right? So Superman tells him in his weakened state that you can help me get out of here. I have an idea. If you push your body against the back wall and put your feet against the front wall, I could use you to step on to get out.
Yeah.
Do you remember this one? Probably not, right?
Probably not. No, I don't remember that one.
So I don't remember what the series was, but anyway.
It was with George Reeves.
Yeah, the bottom line was he says to Jimmy Olsen, you can do anything you want. You have to believe. You must believe. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And he's giving him this real thing that you must believe, you must believe, you must believe. And I'm like thinking, is that really true? And I'm buying this, just like you as a kid with the cartoon. I'm buying this. And I'm thinking, I want to be like Superman. I want to fly. And I think if I really, really believe I could fly, I could fly. So it's going to get worse.
Please tell. What story of window did you jump out of?
Well, that's where I'm going. I'm on 69th Street and 10th Avenue in Brooklyn at the second floor. Okay, above the floor. Okay, and I'm in the living room area, and there's 2-3 windows that go across the back to the backyard that you look down on. The backyard is fenced off. Brooklyn, Bronx, all the same thing. And this is the funny part. I'm like, I believe Superman. I could fly. I open up the window, and right in front of the window is a radiator, the old silver metal radiators, like the ones that I used to go melt crayons as a kid.
They were good ones. Those were the steam radiators.
They were great.
Yeah.
And I believed I can fly.
Did you go out the window?
Yes. I took a running start and jumped to go out the window. I never made the window. My head slammed into the radiator. And the next thing I remember, I saw stars, of course. The next thing
puppets. I saw puppets.
And the next thing I remember,
that's how I started. That's how I started. I remember the Superman episode, and this is why we're never going to get through all these cartoons. But the Superman episode that I liked was when they had the Martians going down that tunnel. It was like a 2-part episode where they'd have that grate that they would open up, and the Martians would come out, and Superman would saving the Martians.
I faintly remember that. Now you're bringing that up. But my whole point of this thing is that that's when reality hit me, that everything you watch on TV is BS, because I do remember waking up bleeding with my mom holding me outside of the house, holding me bleeding and screaming and crying that she needed help. And the next thing I remember is, being home from the hospital bandaged up and my parents telling me, you can't watch television, believe everything is for real. And I have a bad memory today, and I think that I have a bad memory because of smacking my head on that radiator at 7 years old.
This sounds eerily like the end of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're right.
You've always been here. You've always had the power.
Yeah. So I'm wondering today when kids watch stuff, when they watch things.
Right.
Who's watching
Yeah.
them? 'Cause look at the bizarro cartoons that they have today with
Yeah,
people
but
traveling to alternate universes and shit. It's like it's crazy.
We used to have people like everybody be hitting somebody with a frying pan. That doesn't happen anymore today.
Exactly.
You
There
get the Roadrunner, dropping that coyote off of every rock bridge there was.
Right.
Can't do that no more.
I hope people are smoking weed tonight watching this show.
Oh man, I love this one.
Me too.
By the way, at 8:40, for anybody who's out there, we have a special guest coming on, and he's going to go out for the 20 minutes with us. Meteorologist Bill Evans. Bill Evans, formerly of Channel 7 News.
Let me let you say that so people can hear you. 8:40. Who's coming in here?
8:40. We have meteorologist Bill Evans. Used to be on Channel 7 News. The weatherman, the meteorologist. He's formerly of it, but he's going to come in and join us for the last 20 minutes of cartoons.
I wonder how he broke his head as a child. I can't wait to hear. At 8:40.
That's some way. Everybody did. I got struck by lightning with a pin.
Did you really?
I did. It was a lightning storm. I stuck a pin out the window, like the holes in the window, and it hit the pin.
Oh my goodness! That
shot me across the room, and the pin was burnt.
I'm not the only idiot then. I'm so happy to hear.
That's why we're doing this.
That was
this
great.
Was good sound.
Ooh.
Now, what was his name?
What was his name? That's a good point.
Yeah, his name, like Clark Kent was Superman. He put on a pair of glasses and he was somebody else. I forgot. I know the girl was Sweet Polly Purebred.
I kind of forgot too. I don't remember.
Remember the old guy with the crooked head, the bald guy that was his nemesis?
Yeah. Now that you're bringing it up,
Simon Bar Sinister.
Simon Bar Sinister, yes.
And the Master Cylinder.
The Master. How could you come up with a name like? Who came up with Simon Bar Sinister? That is like.
It was the coolest name. I almost named my son Simon Bar. Pebble.
Simon Bar Sinister sounds like something that would they're smoking pot in a room, and they're like, I don't know, and they goes Simon Bar Sinister, and they're like, dude, that's it. That dude. 1958, 60. What would they say? That groovy man, Simon Bar Sinister. I think that's it.
Love it, man. You know what? I got to fix my. There you go. I got to fix my car. I got to fix the Master Cylinder. Perfect. Put him in there too.
We'll make that a go. Here's one of the cylinder. One of my absolute favorites. I don't know why I watched this a million times, but as a kid, I watched this a million times. I knew we were going to have time to get through all of it.
Oh my God. This was the best. Why are we seeing 4 of them?
That's the way it was.
Oh.
Wasn't it?
All right. Magilla Gorilla for sale.
Oh, it's copyright.
Oh, it's copyrighted?
Oh,
so you're going to take this off?
Well, they change it. They change it to make it not different. Use it a different way.
All right, whatever. If you're looking at this, just watch one of the squares. Yeah, me and Mr. Peebles and Mush Mouse and Pumpkin Puss and Ricochet Rabbit and Droop Along.
You didn't hit your head on a radiator.
Nope. There he is, Mr. Peebles, Mush Mouse and Pumpkin Puss, and Ricochet Rabbit and Droop Along. There they are. Right. They're all the Magilla Gorilla. I used to watch this show. What was her name?
I don't know.
Come on, somebody give us the name.
That's a good question.
Mr. Peebles always wanted somebody to buy that gorilla.
That's right. He couldn't get rid of him.
2 cents. Couldn't even buy him for 2 cents. The gorilla. I forgot what her name was. Oh,
somebody just wrote. Brian just said it.
OG. Oh, that's my brother.
That's your brother, Brian? Oh, wow. I know. Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you. Oh, he's got a good memory, that guy, huh?
Yeah, he's crazy, man. He sent me the Evel Knievel thing today. He sent me the Charlie McCarthy doll I used to have.
Wow. Hey, you want to do one more, and then we'll bring on Phil?
Do one more. That Magilla Gorilla was that was on at 3:30 every day when we got home from school.
After school.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a Saturday morning cartoon.
You were Jersey City, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had, and you probably had the same channel on Channel 11 where I was brought up. There was
Channel 11.
who did it have? Officer Joe Bolton.
Yeah.
And he
Officer
was
Joe
with
Bolton. He was with Popeye?
Yeah, when I used to remember, Officer Joe Bolton would come on. He would do some shtick, and then he would bring on. First of all, why is there a cop on there from 1970s? The cop would come on. He like, who is Officer Joe Bolton, and why is he on television on Channel 11? He would come on every day like 3:00. I think it was WPIX.
Yeah, WPIX.
I bet you Bill Evans knows because he's more of a
Oh,
media
definitely WPIX. It's still PIX now.
It is, and well, it was Officer Joe Bolton, and then coming off of that would be, I think they used to play Popeye, different Popeye.
Yeah, well, Popeye was on in the mornings. Popeye was on in the afternoons. Popeye was on all the time. It's like SpongeBob now on Cartoon Network.
Right.
Or Nickelodeon.
Popeye.
Did you see what him and Bluto were fighting over?
No.
Olive.
Olive oil. Right.
With a stick.
Yeah. She was a hot stick. That's what it was.
Just one cartoon I would have liked to say, Popeye say, you know what, Bluto? She's yours.
Take her. It's your
Take her.
The best part about the Popeye show, I remember what my favorite character that everyone was Wimpy, because he would go, I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah, he always wanted a hamburger.
Yeah.
And he was always in the way. Whenever they were fighting, he was always in the way.
How simple was this when we were growing up? It's simplicity. It's beautiful simplicity.
Yeah. That was, and Popeye and Bluto literally made an entire series on fighting over olive oil.
That's right. Is there any shows like that today, I wonder? There are people fighting over a girl. No. Because people don't like girls and guys anymore. It's a new world.
Yeah, it's not even girls and guys anymore. It's they.
Right. No, I just watched the 90-second day fiance or whatever. Wait till you see these freaks. Have you seen this thing?
Nah.
Oh my goodness. It's like a guy with no neck and a guy that's like 60 years old dating a 20-year-old girl from another country.
They need loving too. They need loving too.
They love it too. This delusional people. And you know what? We love to sit back and judge others. That's what our whole lives are. If we could sit here and judge others, everyone's happy.
If you ever get a chance to watch the bit, Jimmy Schubert does a bit on a girl conjoining twins that date, that their heads are conjoined together, and one of them got married. He does a whole bit on it. It's hilarious.
That's terrific. Hey, it's 8:40, so it's time.
Let's bring him in. Bill Evans.
And by the way, I grew up watching Bill Evans also, I have to say.
Channel 7. Now he's the where is he?
He's right here.
There he is. Hey, Bill Evans. Now he's just a quick thing. WLNG radio program director, meteorologist over there. No longer with Channel 7, so we can talk bad about them. Correct?
Well, I just wanted to wrap up the Popeye Olive Oil Bluto thing.
He's got his own take on
that for a moment. When you're a child, you don't think about these things, right? Here are two men who had been at sea a long time.
That's true.
Now, when they come into port, the two of them are fighting over one olive oil, right? And she has a baby named Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. I forgot about Sweet Pea.
Which person did Sweet Pea belong to, for heaven's sake?
That's right. It might have not even been one of them. It could have been another guy.
Well, you know what? Usually those quiet types that ask for money, like Wimpy, they get in there.
Oh, let's spread that rumor that it's Wimpy's baby.
See,
olive oil was loose.
You don't think about these things. You become an adult. You go, gosh, these guys were at sea together a very long time.
Yes.
So that olive oil looking pretty good when you get home.
I guess. It makes perfect sense now.
I'm looking back at this also. I'm thinking to myself, back in those days, she was so skinny that she's probably anorexic as well. I haven't thought of that. She's anorexic, and she's banging Pluto or banging another guy. Has children.
She's got a hair all pushed back.
1960s unwed mother. How this?
Yeah. Nobody's asking that question.
Wow.
And in those days, she probably didn't have to bribe a college $500,000 to get Sweet Pea into a good school.
See?
Touche.
See? Touche. Very topical, Bill.
What
Very
a great
topical
voice. Bill has a radio voice besides having a voice for that voice is like a great radio voice.
That deep voice.
Well, thank you very much. I'm back at my roots. You know, my wife and I bought this radio station in Sag Harbor, and the opportunity presented itself, and I'm having the time of my life. We've owned the station now a year and a half.
What is it?
It's
WLNG.
WLNG. It was a station started in 1963. And it's been the number one station here on the East End since 1963. It's 92.1 FM. And we have WLNG.com. You can catch us at that. Or we have our own app, the WLNG app. But it is a radio station that had one owner, only one owner. And that owner passed away. And we come out here to Sag Harbor. And the opportunity presented itself. And my wife wanted to buy the radio station, and we're running it, and it's just been exciting. We're having a great time. And guys, I don't have to get up at 2:30 in the morning anymore.
No more.
You're a new man. He's a new man. So it's right there, WLNG.com. I just looked it up.
You can actually, if you have an Alexa, which I did this morning, I said, Alexa, just play WLNG radio, and it plays it.
That's right. You can get it. You know, it's there with all of those. It's on all of those platforms. You can get it. Mostly our listeners are these days. Believe it or not, if you're in the car, you're listening to radio. But most of the time, radio listeners are listening to it. Through
at work.
Yeah.
At home work.
Yeah.
What a beautiful town too. That is where you are.
Yes, Sag Harbor.
It's a really nice town. It's really gone under a transformation since the 70s. It was a little bit of a tough town in the 70s, and now it's more tourism oriented. But the town is open year round, even in the wintertime. All the stores are open, all the restaurants are open. Once we get past phase 4, please, everybody, phase 3, phase 4, please come to Sag Harbor.
Come to Sag Harbor. It's a beautiful town. Sung about by Billy Joel, one of his greatest hits.
He lives, just a couple of blocks down. They're redoing his house. He's not there now. He's over toward Oyster Bay.
Has he ever crashed into your house yet?
He has not.
He has not. Okay, that's good.
No,
that's a good start. Johnny, what do we got coming up?
We have a lot coming up. Just before I even go any further, Bill, what was your fave cartoon and cereal when you were a kid?
Well, I got to tell you, I had a routine on Saturdays because we would kind of get up early. I grew up on a farm with farmers, so we had to get up early. And the first show we could see at 6 o'clock in the morning after the test pattern on a Saturday morning.
That's right.
Was the Three Stooges. So the Three Stooges were on. This was local programming before the networks, came on with the Saturday morning cartoons. So we watched the Three Stooges first, and then after the Three Stooges, Bugs Bunny came on.
Right.
And you had to have Bugs Bunny. I mean, see, this has worked out for me because my wife's nickname as a child was Taz.
Tasmanian Devil. Tasmanian Devil.
Whirling dervish, so they called her the Tasmanian Devil.
That's awesome.
So after Bugs Bunny was an hour, and the Roadrunner was always the victor in all of that, and then you had ScoobyDoo, which
ScoobyDoo.
Loved ScoobyDoo, but we also watched the Flintstones came on for an hour, Underdog came on for an hour, and then my favorite at 11 o'clock was Johnny Quest. I love
somebody about that last
That's
night.
what you said, Walt. That was his favorite. I wasn't a big Johnny Quest guy.
No, it wasn't me.
No?
It wasn't me. It was Rumble. Bob Rumble loved it. Johnny Quest.
Rumble loved it.
My favorite was Ace Bannon. He was always the guy that was really good looking, and he always saved Johnny and Haji and their father. They'd get into some kind of trouble, and they would be in the temple. It was like that was the pre-Raiders of the Lost Ark in a cartoon. They were always in some temple, some jewel, some hidden place in the jungle. And I really liked Johnny Quest. And then after that, we did some farm work, and I went and played baseball. That's how our Saturdays shaped up.
Farm work. Wow. What about your cereal? What was your favorite kids stuff cereal?
I was really excited because I just saw they've got the cereal mashup out now. Have you seen this?
Nope.
No.
Fruit Loops and Frosted Flakes.
Get out of here.
And now Kellogg's put it all into one box. So you. So I would have one bowl of Fruit Loops and one bowl of Frosted Flakes.
Does it come with like insulin? And
yeah, I was ready to go.
Bill, if you watch the show we did, John and we would have picked out the Fruit Loops in one bowl, and we would pick out the Frosted Flakes and put them in another bowl. So this would have driven us crazy.
We were OCD children. Now here's something we all must have watched, I believe. Anyway, you tell me if you watch this. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, the Pink Panther.
Yeah, Pink Panther.
Absolutely.
Now there's a funny story behind this that we were told yesterday, by the way. The Pink Panther. So the Pink Panther, I think we were told yesterday. I think Bob Rumba told us this yesterday. Didn't he tell us this yesterday?
He told us something about it.
Well, that the Pink Panther was actually a cartoon in the front of the Pink Panther movie that before the movie started, because back in the 50s and 60s, when you made a movie, you would put a cartoon on just before the movie actually played. Just the same way today in the movies, they do previews and tell you to go to the snack bar and all that kind of stuff. And they were playing these little clips. And these clips from the movie that was so popular, they said we should make it in, and they made it a whole into a cartoon series from that little clip in front of the movie.
Oh, that was a great idea.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Everybody still quotes all those lines of Peter Sellers.
Oh yeah,
Love
from the movie. But that was the same way that that was the same way the Simpsons came from the Tracy Ullman show. In the beginning of the Tracy Ullman show, it was a little snippet in the beginning of the Tracy Ullman show, and that's how, and like 28 years later or 30 years later, it's still Bart still hasn't grown up. Homer's still the same dummy.
Right.
Nobody learned anything.
What we've learned is the people who created the show and produced the show are now retired.
Yes, very wealthy.
They've been very wealthy. They've all moved on and done well for themselves and turned it over.
But look at all the fond memories.
Very wealthy and trying to bring in new vaccines.
You guys said Channel 11 had cartoons after school. Is that right?
Yeah.
On Pitt.
Yeah, Channel 11. Channel 11 was WPIX, and Channel 9, which is CW now, was WOR.
I see.
Well, sorry about that, Walt. I cut you off over there. I'm sorry. I was queuing up. I cut you down.
No big deal. I watched this one.
So Channel 11, I do remember I watched Channel 11.
PIX, and then Channel 9 was WOR.
That's
Channel
right.
7 was WABC.
Right.
Channel 5 was actually NYW? I think it was NYN or something like that. 4 is NBC and 2 was CBS.
And CBS. Yeah, there was the big several, and we had a screwdriver that changed the channels.
Yes. No, it was pliers. Pliers.
Pliers. That's right, pliers. And
then the knob broke off.
I also remember back in the late 70s, early 80s when they came out, Wometco, and I had this little big plastic box with this big clinker on it. You go,
I remember it.
And that's where the word clicker came from, was that box. And so everybody said, pass me the clicker, because it made that big clunking noise.
That's right. That's exactly.
Well, you remember when Wometco Home Theater first came out, they only had a movie on at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 12 o'clock was the same movie that played at 8 o'clock. And then they put a movie on 10:30 in the morning for the people, the moms or whoever was staying home. So you got 4 movies a day.
Different world, my friend. Different world.
That's the classic. You need that now with the pandemic going on.
Yeah, right.
You got to be quarantined.
Now there's another classic.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And who was the voice?
That's a good question.
Who was the voice of who?
Of Bullwinkle. Who did the voice for Dudley Do-Right? I mean, who did all of the narration inside of Bullwinkle?
Wow.
Oh, I don't know, man. You throw me out deep.
Well,
no idea.
You ever watch the TV show Cannon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy who played Cannon was?
Oh, it was the big guy. What the hell was his name?
Robert Conrad.
Robert Conrad.
He was the voice of all of the narration throughout the Bullwinkle cartoons.
Did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
He did the whole narration. Snidely Whiplash and his lovely bride Nell and his horse. What was the horse's name?
I don't know.
No?
No, either.
Dudley Do-Right. I remember the cartoon.
Sure. And of course, you had Natasha and you had Boris.
You can't do that now because they'd be impeached.
Actually, Bill, I'm surprised that you know this. You see, you need to do the show with Bill, Walt. I don't
Yeah, just
remember.
this one.
Well,
I didn't know that.
my favorite cartoon character of all time is you have to go back to Warner Brothers. And personally, I am the greatest fan of Pepe LePew.
Oh,
Pepe
God.
LePew. I forgot all about that.
Ma chérie amour, I should take you to the Casbah.
That's right. That's right.
What was the girl's skunk's name?
You know, she was a cat.
A cat. Oh, right. He didn't even realize it.
And he didn't recognize it, but she was walking under a ladder, and the guy on the ladder bumps the paint can in a white
The white paint. Yeah.
And as soon as he saw her, he goes crazy. You know.
Yeah. So the cat, it was a black cat, but it wound up getting a white stripe down its back from the
That's
paint.
right.
And he thought it was a skunk.
He thought it was a female skunk. He's her all over Paris.
Brilliant.
Yes. You know, she drops a load of bricks on him, and he goes, you know, she finds me cool, handsome. he was unflappable, you know. But the other day, we have a bus at WLNG, and it made me think of Pepe LePew because we have been going around to the hospitals here on the East End, and we've been playing a song for all the hospital workers and blasting music and handing out gifts to the hospital workers here on the East End, East Hampton Hospital, Southampton Hospital, and Peconic Bay Medical in Riverhead. So we take the bus, and we take my dog Sandy. And so Sandy's running around the grounds of the hospital, and she comes back, and what does Sandy find? A skunk. We had de skunke smell all the way home from the hospital.
Oh my God.
She smelled like skunk for a week. You just can't get that off.
Now, what was the name of that cartoon? Was it Pepe LePew?
That was
right?
Warner Brothers, and that was his own. He had his own cartoon, and they did. And he didn't get a lot of play. He was like, you know, 5th on the roster.
Yeah, the roster. On the roster of cartoons.
You'd have, you know, on the depth chart, he was about the 5th one, because you would have Foghorn Leghorn was about 3rd, right after Roadrunner. Then you would have Elmer Fudd, and then after Elmer Fudd, they would throw a Pepe LePew in there every now and then. So you never see a lot of those episodes, but they were so well written. They were charming, you know. And Mel Blanc did the voice, and he did a great Frenchman voice. It was really cute. There's only a handful of those episodes.
There you go.
Pepe LePew. The Pepe LePew.
And of course, he's a French character. please, Walt, please.
Easy.
Family show. It's like the
I'll
funny
have somebody cutting that part out.
He was French though, so they made the French lover, of course.
Yeah.
He had to be the French lover. Yeah.
But he thought he can get any woman, which he was trying to get a cat.
Yeah.
Deep down, that was actually probably some subliminal message that these guys, he was trying to get a cat.
You know, he's Pepe LePew. He's trying to get anything. I think.
But it's funny to see that he's the horny French guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, kind of funny. How about this? I didn't watch this. How about this?
Oh, Adam
Ant.
I wasn't a big fan of that at all. Were you guys?
He was an ant. He was an ant. He was like as strong as hell. This little ant could do anything.
We didn't get to see a whole lot of Adam Ant, and where I grew up in a small town in Mississippi where we had one television station, and you only had one network that you could watch.
Channel 11. Evidently, it was Channel 11.
And it was Channel 11, by the way. And so you had you really could only see one network, and that was CBS growing up. So you saw Warner Brothers, and then Warner Brothers went over to ABC, and so Adam Ant was always on the NBC station.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Now, here we got the Alvin Show, the huge expansion of McDonald's, Tom Carvel and his radio and TV spots, a national rollout of Dr. Pepper, Nehru Jackets, the first family and instant destruction of Von Meteor's career.
I got to be honest, that has confused me more than I already was. I don't even know what he was describing.
We're talking about our bank accounts
Right.
in Germany, something like that.
Literally, that sounded like Damon Wayans when he was trying to talk sophisticated. Like, what was that?
How about this?
We did that.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring it up. There's a Sweet Pea little character. And by the way, look how simple those faces are. They're all like little circles with little things. There's really much.
Yeah. Well, you know, the guys that drew that, I mean, you've been into the city and you've gone to Palm One, right?
Yeah.
they're all over the walls in Palm One because the guys drew those guys. They, as you know, the story in the Palm is that's why the cartoons are all over the walls is because those guys couldn't afford steaks at the Palm. So they said, okay, how about drawing us some of your characters on the walls and you can have a free meal. And that's how they could every now and then get a delicious steak meal from the Palm.
Well, if this continues with the pandemic, I may be drawing pictures on people's walls.
Right.
Or your own walls.
I'll come draw it on your radio station walls.
Right.
How about this?
Fat Albert.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey. And that's
Are we
another
allowed to talk
weird
about that now?
character. What's that?
I remember the one episode where Fat Albert, there was this cute girl and he drugged her.
Really?
No, that was Bill Cosby, you dummy.
Oh, I was buying into you. I didn't even see that.
Thank you.
He
Thank
really
you for
went.
the fishing.
I'm usually so quick. I didn't even see that.
You had to see your face.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
It was like, really? That happened?
Poor Bill
Who's my
Cosby.
favorite character? Who's your favorite character on that cartoon?
On Fat Albert, I like Russell.
Bring it up again.
This is weird. It's not a good picture, but
I like the little guy with the purple hat over his eyes.
Yeah, what was that character's name?
I don't know. It's right on there. But
He was the one who talked. You couldn't understand him. I was like,
right.
Only the other kids could understand.
Right.
It's like,
The other kids understood.
Charlie Brown,
Here's something. This is something that
Albert.
you can't get out of your head, no matter how young or old you are. Okay, you can't get this out of your head.
No, I still sing this to sleep.
Yeah.
Words and phrases and clauses.
This is how I learned how to talk.
I got 3 favorite cards that get most of my job done.
Conjunction, junction, what's their function?
I
Bubba
got
Dubba.
they'll get you pretty far. And that's an additive like this and that. But that's sort of the opposite. Not this.
I gotta be honest, John. I gotta be honest. I didn't even know what they were doing.
They were trying to teach us something.
They were trying to teach us,
and
but I was just grooving to the music when I was a 10-year-old.
Hey, I'm trying to shut these off. Sorry. There you go. Yeah, but that comes right back into my head, and that's the kind of thing I'll go to sleep tonight, and I'll be going conjunction. There are certain things that just stick in your head, like my name is Michael and I have a nickel. Remember that song? It's like once you get it in there. Yeah. Actually, I was talking even Tony Orlando, "Oh Tie Yellow Ribbon." If you listen to that song once or twice in a day, it's in there every day.
I know every word of that song. Tie Yellow Ribbon.
I'm so good for you.
I could sing that. That's about a guy coming home from prison, hoping his woman was waiting for him, and the way the signal was a ribbon around a tree.
Is that really what it's about?
You nailed it.
That's exactly what it's about.
That's exactly it.
I didn't know.
He was afraid. He was afraid he wasn't going to see the ribbon around the old oak tree. But when he came home, everybody cheered on the bus because there were 100 ribbons around the tree.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't really grab that at first because
it's a charming song. See, but "Knock 3 Times" was confusing to me because it was twice on the pipes, or once on the ceiling, or tap the door, or scratch the floor.
You know what's killing me? I didn't realize.
Like, look, I'd like to go out on a date. Do I have to know all the signals?
I got knocked 3 times on the ceiling. If you want me, twice on the pipes.
The answer's no.
Right. I didn't realize though, Bill. I didn't realize that you had such an analytical mind. You looked at it this deeply.
That's why I told you this guy was the guy.
I know. We're talking to Bill.
Tony Orlando and I were both inducted into the Ellis Island. We got an Ellis Island Medal of Honor 2 years ago.
Wow.
Now, the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, the people that were being inducted was the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the guy who started the CIA, and all these scientists who had invented nuclear weapons and all sorts of things, and all kinds of people in society. And me and Tony Orlando are sitting together next to the one guy on the one side of us is the guy who started the CIA, and the other guy was the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And Tony Orlando looks at me, and I swear to God, he says to me, what in the hell are we doing here?
You know what's funny about that? That you and Tony Orlando, out of that group, are the only ones not being subpoenaed.
Well, that's true. You know, not a good time to be in government. Entertainment, meteorology. You know, you're kind of in a safe zone there a little bit.
Hopefully. I don't know. I'm a ventriloquist. I have a black dummy, and he's not coming out for quite a while, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's what's his name? Smokey.
You're a wise man.
Smokey's in his case for a long, long time. I'm going to have to start moving on to like soft puppets like this.
Smokey's going to need a little oil when you have to use him again.
A little lawyer. Yeah, very funny.
That's friendly, you know, that's not gonna cross any lines there.
No, I'm not looking to cause any lines here. But so as a kid too, there's another thing that we're getting towards the end here, but I have so many more to go, and I'm not going to make them all obviously, you know.
We'll just do another show another time.
Yeah, another show another time. I do have a bunch. I don't know which one you want me to bring up first.
Grab it. Just grab whatever.
Grab one and whatever. All right, here. This is something that I really enjoyed too as a kid. This is only out of our order of what we normally wanted to do. Here it is. This is a hot blonde chick. Who do you think that is?
Oh, we were talking about this last night, Bill.
Oh, Josie and the Pussycat?
Josie and the Pussycats.
You can see my wife's dancing to Josie and the Pussycat. What was it?
Now,
Josie
what was
and the Pussycat?
we figured their names out last night.
That's how it went. But it was almost like a knockoff of ScoobyDoo, wasn't it? With a girl band.
Yeah, but it was hotter. Now, John, let's ask Bill which one was the one he dug out of the three of them.
That's the question. This is like Marianne on Gilligan's Island or the professor's wife, or which one did you go for?
Oh, you're talking about Ginger or Marianne?
Ginger or Marianne.
You know, when it came to that, I thought, you know, Thurston Howell III's wife was pretty funny, though.
Yeah. No, but out of Josie and the Pussycats.
You know, the one on guitar, was her name Betty?
No, that was the Archies.
It was Veronica?
I think that was the Archies too. Bill,
it must have been Josie.
Yeah. Josie was the redhead.
Yep.
And then the black girl was Melanie.
Okay.
And then the one that me and John both like was on the drums, the dumb ditzy blonde girl.
Oh yeah.
And I forgot what her name was.
I actually have them all written down here. This is really interesting. Josie and the Pussycats, Valerie Brown, voiced by Barbara Perriott, sung by
she was the African American.
Okay.
Josie McCoy was Janet Waldo, sung by Kathy Dodge. She's a redheaded lead singer.
Right.
And Melody Valentine, who voiced Jackie, sung by Sherry Moon, the band's drummer and backup singer, and stereotypical dumb blonde. That's the one I liked. I like the dumb blonde, by the way. I like
I like that too.
And Sebastian the Cat was voiced by Don Messick, who was a great voiceover for many things. And Alan M. Mayberry, voiced by Jerry Dexter, the group's tall, blonde, muscular roadie and Josie's love interest as well. So there's a lot of history in there, and it's a cartoon.
And they had names.
I forgot all about that show. That was one that toward the end of like Cartoon on network television, it exploded.
Yeah, that was a big one because of the three hot girls, the three hot cartoon girls.
You never had that before, you know.
Yeah, because you had you had Daphne on ScoobyDoo.
Yes,
Daphne, move out of the way, John, and we'll see Daphne. John, please, John, move out of the way.
What you want me to see? Oh, in my way?
There she is. There's the beauty right there.
Oh, you like the redhead, huh?
The redhead. The other one, there was a little nerd, man.
I know, but you know what the difference is? You would have married that redhead back in 1960, all right? And today, she'd be all shot, and the other girl would own IBM.
I would have taken my chances.
I wonder. Actually, what would these cartoons look like if they ever age? It's really interesting too. It's a long, long time ago.
Oh, there's an idea.
Yeah, aging the characters. That is it.
Bring back
Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo 30 years later.
You know, the mystery machine for like Scooby-Doo would be Accessoride.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that could be one of the vans that we take around. What do you call those? The Uber. It could be an Uber van.
An Uber van.
Drive an Uber. Here's something I never watched that everyone, I think, Walt, you mentioned that you like this.
Oh,
I did.
Kung Fu.
Hong Kong Fooey.
Hong Kong.
Number one super guy. Yeah, he would have. If I'm not mistaken, he used to be in work as just a regular, like a male dog or whatever he was, and then he would fall into the floor and turn into Hong Kong Fooey.
Is that what happened? I don't remember.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is it?
He was a mail dog or something.
He worked at
A mail room.
He delivered the mail or something, right?
Right. All these schleppy little jobs that these superheroes got.
I see. That wasn't one of my faves. That wasn't one of the one. How about this? This classic. Oh, I showed you that already, didn't I?
Did that one?
I did that one. I'm so sorry. Once I go out of order, I'm screwed. Here's another one that I think I didn't watch either that you mentioned, Walt. Remember this guy?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bill, Super Friends.
Yeah, Super Friends.
All right, so you had Superman, you had Batman, you had Robin, which was also Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
You had Aquaman, you had Wonder Woman, and you had two little nuggets there that nobody knew what they were, but they were called the Wonder Twins. And Bill, do you remember the Wonder Twins?
I don't remember the Wonder Twins.
All right, so the Wonder Twins were like together. They were brother and sister.
Right.
Together, if they touched each other, they could turn into something else. So
That's
there'd be
how
Wonder Twin powers activate, form of a thing of water, shape of a jackhammer, and that's what that was their power. They could turn into something.
If you touch each other, you turn into something.
Yeah, right. So if they were separated, they couldn't do it. But if they hit their fists together, they were able to do it.
There was no social distancing back then.
No. Well, they were brother and sister. They lived in the same house.
How about this? This I watched every day.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I know what it is. Jetsons, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jane.
yeah.
See, this was where Jane was cute and Judy was cute.
That's frightening to hear.
They was cute and Judy was cute. That's true. Mother and daughter were cute.
Right.
That's really weird because it's like it shows you as a guy. This is about if you're 7 or 70 years old, you still look at the cartoons going, that one was kind of cute.
Yeah, I do that.
With us?
I hit that.
But what's the matter with us kind of people? Look,
well, Walt would like Smurfette. Did you talk about?
Oh yeah, who didn't like that? Smurfette.
That was the 80s. That must have been the 80s.
Yeah, it was.
That was a little bit later. We're only going up to the 80s. We're not going that far away.
All right, Johnny, let's do one more, and then we'll call it a day.
Oh, you got it. How about all right, Felix the Cat, the Banana Splits, or Roadrunner, or Popeye?
Let's do you pick it, Bill.
Felix the Cat, because that was late 70s. This is when cartoons started getting into this.
I loved it.
Almost R-rated stuff.
Yeah,
I loved this cartoon.
I don't know if it was R-rated stuff. Was it?
Was it?
There was like a little violence. There was a little language.
Bill, that was Fritz the Cat.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, Felix the Cat.
Song, too.
Yeah, it was it's a very catchy tune in your head. They didn't really spend a lot of money on graphics in the beginning.
Exactly.
Just his head.
Simplistic too, though.
But what did Felix the Cat do? What was his?
He had a magic.
It was more like had a lot of sexual overtones, language, some violence.
I never know it.
Right over my head.
Yeah, kind of like in a he would go through bad neighborhoods, and there would be some type of drugs, or there would be some type of violence.
What was he watching, Bill? What were you watching?
Bill, I think you got this mixed up, man. I remember him that he had a bag It was like a Louis Vuitton bag.
You open it up.
You open it up and make it a car, or make it an airplane, or make it a helicopter. Bill, I think
I don't remember Bad Neighborhoods. Maybe Bill was
somebody will remember what the name of that was. It was one of those. You know, it's kind of like where cartoons, some of the more adult cartoons have gone. It was like the precursor to some
the beginning. Just one more, Walt.
Go ahead.
This is so many fond memories for me on this. I just all the time, over and over and over again. I watched this.
Oh my gosh!
The Banana Splits.
It was so much fun.
I watched it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it.
It just was silly fun.
Not even a cartoon. This used to come on with the monkeys, right?
Yeah.
What did they do? They just did, what was it, like a laughing type of
They did silly, stupid things.
hijinks?
They're retarded costume characters banging into things and doing silly things. And
They were always out in the public.
yeah, and you know, HR Puff and stuff was kind of like that too. You had these over-the-top Marty Krofft characters that had these big costumes and super characters, like bigger than life characters, and everything was like. Actually, you look back at it, it looks creepy now on some level.
Yes, it
It looks
does.
like you were taking LSD and just like tripped out, and you saw these people. It's like crazy stuff, you know.
It almost looks like that dog you have over there right next to you.
Which one? Which one?
The one you picked up, the puppet.
Look,
One of the 100 puppets.
my Sharpton puppet has to go away. I'm sorry to say it's not going to happen.
John, do you think that now that everybody has to wear a mask, there's going to be more of these people who think they're ventriloquists, but they're not?
Yeah, that everyone's
That's the point.
like in this ventriloquist game. They are. They really are. I actually took a couple of pictures with masks on. So this whole thing, this whole pandemic thing is like, and that's just more the reason why Walt and I said, let's have some fun with this stuff, because people have been locked in the house, and somebody said, I watched all of YouTube. I've already watched all of Netflix. It's like, you want something that's offbeat, light, and nothing like the typical watch a movie, you know. Why spend $100 million when you could see this for free?
I'm surprised that we had run into each other sooner, John. There was years ago, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when I started doing weather. I did it for 30 years at Channel 7, and we went on the road every day. We went to a different place, and we had to come up with a show every day. And fortunately, we were in New York City, where you could come up with a different morning show for 4 hours every day. And one of the funniest shows I ever did was we went to a diner. I had a great producer.
Bill, I hate to interrupt you. This is funny you bring this up, because I said this to my wife earlier today. I said, I think I met Bill Evans 20 years ago, because there was a diner in Brooklyn where I went in as a ventriloquist, and I was behind the counter with the puppet doing something, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. You came in and taped it.
That was it?
It was you. And I remember you gave me a signed autograph 8x10 and show to everyone, and we all had a free breakfast, and then the diner opened after.
Yeah, exactly. We had 5 ventriloquists.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I got there, my producer said, okay, 4 of the guys have straight, really funny shtick. He goes, but there's the 5th guy who's filthy.
That was me.
That was you. That was him.
They didn't mean that. They meant about what I did in the diner behind the counter.
It's still there.
It was hysterical. You were excellent.
Was it? I'd love to see that clip, boy. That was a long time ago. That was, and I worked with you that time, and I remember, and I said it was Bill Evans. I know it's Bill Evans. And I said to my, wasn't it Bill Evans? I said, God forbid I go on the show and say to you, hey, were you the guy that did this?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, that's what Channel 4. And I would be embarrassed. And you gave me an 8x10 signed, and I still have it here somewhere.
That was a very funny show. You guys were really good.
I'm surprised you remember.
On my toes, because you guys were really quick.
I'm so surprised you remember this. Wow, that's really so funny to hear.
Well, I'll just let you two know, all Bills have a very good memory.
There you go. Hey, this is even nice that you came out and do this. It's very
thanks for coming out, Bill.
It's delightful.
You guys are a lot of fun.
Oh, you're kind. And we're going to do it again next Thursday at 8 o'clock again. And we're going to have another theme with some other stuff, which we'll release during the week on Facebook Live.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, Bill.
I had a blast, guys. Thanks for having me. At least I can stay up late at night now and see that there actually is programs on at night.
There is some stuff. It's more than actually Channel 11, too.
Is this late at night, though, right now?
Well, not anymore. Not for me. I would have gone to bed at 7 o'clock.
Bill doesn't have to go into the radio till 10.
Well,
Nice.
no, I actually do the morning show with another guy. It's Bill and Gary in the morning.
Is that you? Oh,
We're
I
on
didn't. I
TV.
was listening. I didn't know if that was you.
Yeah, I get up at 4:30, go in. We do lost dogs, cats, obituaries, local news. It's real local, wonderful radio. It's not corporate radio. It's all mom and pop stuff. It's really good. It's really exciting. It's informative. It's local. We interview local politicians all the time, local people, because we have the pandemic. We've got the village mayors and the town mayors on from East Hampton, Southampton, Sag Harbor, North Shore, all that. And what else?
Helping business.
Yeah, we're helping businesses. We can run as many PSAs as we want. We can give as many commercials away to struggling businesses that we want. Unlike being in corporate television, here we are on a radio station that my wife and I own, and we can help people. We can do so many good things that we weren't really allowed to do before, but now we have a chance to really, make a difference in the community out here.
Freedom. You have freedom to be and choose and do it the way you want. And that's what the internet has given all of us. And it's also the same reason why we're able to see what's wrong in the world as well. That's the
John, you got to listen to the radio station, because they play like the Beatles, they play like 50s and 60s and 70s, right? You play.
Yeah,
I think I heard something this morning.
We play 50s all the way through 90s, the middle 90s probably, and that's 40 years of music. There is a pretty wide range for radio programmers. I'll never forget, I was talking with Scott Shannon, who I worked with for 30 years on
Name dropper.
He said, "How many records are you guys playing?" I said, "Well, we have 12,500 in our computer." And I said, "How many are you playing at CBS FM?" And he said, "We got 279.
Wow, limited number.
Short playlist.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, they're playing a lot of 80s. So we have a wide range of audience.
Variety. Yeah.
And we're very big in Connecticut and Rhode Island, Block Island, Fisher's Island, Plum Island, all the way, up to Newport. So,
and how do I tune into that? Because I'm showing you WLNG.com here, but how do I tune into the radio? Go to the website.
Go to WLNG.com and then click on Studio Cam, and you can see us in the morning in the studio. And
I'm definitely doing that tomorrow morning. I'm definitely coming in there and listening to that.
And we have an app. You can go to the App Store, the Apple App Store, or Android, and you can get the WLNG app. You can hear us anywhere in the world.
Well, right now we have 17,000 people watching us, so this should do really good for all of us.
I feel my career being re-kickstarted again. I haven't been on television in so long. I'm like a little anxious here, being on the internet on a camera.
This is actually great, though. It's really great, and it's really nice to see that you're doing something that's for you, that the way you want it done, and with your direction, your wife, both moving in a place that you see where life should go, as opposed to be like when you get a check from somebody to tell you, well, do this, dress this way, come here. The whole thing becomes, it's velvet shackles.
Yeah, so many rules. You can't say this, can't do that, and then you watch the way the news is being portrayed. You don't necessarily agree. You would like it to be a little more objective, but it's not. And so in this situation, we're helping people. Our objective is to help businesses, residents. We're a cradle to grave radio station. We do births, we do anniversaries, birthdays, we do obituaries, and you don't find that much in local radio anymore. It's like a corporation that owns 300 radio stations, and you got one guy sitting in a beach chair in LA programming all the stations on the East Coast. And so we're just one station, and it's my wife and I, and we clean the bathrooms, and we do the morning show, and we're there about 6 days, mostly 7 days a week, and it's just a great labor of love.
But he has a radio voice, though. That is a radio voice. He's got a definitely.
He does. John, let me tell you my Bill Evans story.
I'm looking for a voiceover agent. If you guys want to represent me, I'd really appreciate it.
Let me tell you my Bill Evans story real quick, John.
Go ahead.
And Bill, let's see if you remember this. We had Bill coming up to the comedy club. He was going to host over at Jester's Comedy Club when I owned it, and we had a sold-out crowd. Everybody wanted to come see Bill Evans hosting this show, and it was coming up to Saturday, and on Thursday, I get a message from Bill saying, I can't do it. And this goes back to what he was saying, the corporate America. Disney owned Channel 7 at the time, and they said, we don't want Bill Evans going on stage where somebody with their iPhones taking a picture of him, being off color. That's not the Disney brand. So Bill had to pull out.
Yeah, but
and then that's how I discovered Tommy Gooch.
Yeah.
Remember that, Bill?
Well, Tommy Gooch is really good. But yes, I remember that, and I was really upset by that. And that happened on more than one occasion. And it would be, stand-up comedy night. And I did stand-up comedy for a long time in
you told me.
I was on the Punchline circuit for a long time, did those nightclubs, Atlanta, Dallas. I actually rode in a car from Atlanta to Nashville with Rick Regan and Roseanne Barr.
Wow.
Who at the time was doing the Punchline circuit. She was doing that, domestic goddess stuff that she.
Yeah, sure.
That was her thing at the time, and Robert Zimmerman was on that bill too on the Punchline circuit. So, and I kind of knew what I could do and not, be inflammatory for corporate America or for the Walt Disney Company, but they were just too nervous about it. And I got shut down on a lot of those. And every one of those that I was invited to was for a charity.
Yeah.
We were raising money for a charity. And so, that was sad.
You see, people have discernment, but other people at the top with the suits and ties automatically afraid if somebody's going to say something. Comedians are the same way. We go do a college gig or you go somewhere and they're like, make sure you don't do this, make sure you don't do that. Everything's being laid out for you. And it also stymies you to be creative, unique, and show who, yourself and open up. It's almost kind of like they're putting a clamp down on you. You know what you're saying, Bill? It's the man. The man is clamping you down. That's what it is.
Stopping you now, right?
It is, and I never did anything in an act that was, vulgar or anything like that. I was just going to stand there and just, introduce the acts, which was great. But I was on a bill one night at Rodney's place, and Rodney came out and he goes, well, we got all these great young comics in the back. And there was some guys talking in the very back of the room there at Rodney's club. And Rodney goes, hey, why don't you shut the hell up, like that in the back? And one of the guys stands up, and they've got the suits on with the T-shirt and the rings, right? And he goes, we'll see you after the show.
There you go.
So Rodney did not leave the stage, as you probably know Rodney would do. He did about 2.5 hours of jokes until he looked in the back and saw those guys had left from the table. And then he goes, okay, now we got these young comics back here.
It's the way to do it.
I remember working Dangerfield's back. It was on 61st Street and First Avenue, I think. And I remember doing it when I first started out. And the funny part was, I'll never forget, every time I would go there at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night to do a spot, the buses would pull up because they had the tourist bus come in. And every time all these Asian people would come out with their little cameras. And they were all going like, where Rodney? They always thought that Rodney was there like 24 hours 7. He was on the road all the time. And they would all get bustled in to come in. And there was no Rodney there, of course. And when he was there, he was downstairs, because I met him a few times. He was downstairs, always wearing a robe with his test.
He had his robe on.
For real.
Never much under that.
No. And he would just get dressed before he came on, did his gig, have a shot, and then come back and be back. And he was one of these guys just always liked being half naked. He never wanted to be dressed.
He was so great. He was really always just fantastic. To young comics. I mean, nobody, I think, was ever more nurturing to somebody new in the business than he.
Agreed. Well, he came up late in life. He was before he did this. He told me he sold siding. I think it was. He said siding. Yeah, for a lot of years, and he didn't do well with that. And apparently, when he became a comedian, he hit it in his late 50s somewhere, and it became a huge success. So anyone that works so hard all their life to do something and doesn't hit it until they're late in life. Of course, you see the younger generation coming is like, hey, come let me give you a hand.
So, John, you still have hope?
Yeah, I don't.
No. You're gonna start it at 60.
I have more hope of getting Velma.
She's right behind you. That's a picture.
I'm driving her right now.
We can dream.
This is too much fun. This is delightful. Hey, Bill, thank you so much. It's really
thanks again.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do this again later.
And thank you guys for doing this.
No.
Just having fun. That's all we're trying to do. But appreciate you coming to have fun with us. It's really nice.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You. Good luck. And anybody wants
we'll see you next week.
All
Bill
right.
is on www.wlng.com for radio in the morning live and as a broadcast, and as well as an app you could get to listen to this on your device, as well as somebody mentioned in the comments, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it's on another app
It's TuneIn.
You can get it on
TuneIn radio.
and on
TuneIn
Siri.
radio.
And if you go to Siri and say it as well, you could listen to.
Yeah, Siri, Alexa, they'll pick it up off of TuneIn.
Excellent.
Good.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Thanks,
I
Bill.
hope to be listening to you tomorrow morning.
Thanks, guys.
Johnny, I'll see you next week.
Take care. Thank you.
Walt. Thank you,
That
Johnny.
was
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Walt. I'll see you next week.
All right, brother.
There's too much fun. I'm out of here now. Guess where we're going?
Going to the couch.
Going to the couch. I got
don't know.
stuff to do. Here we go. See you next week.